The objective of this lesson is to create and interpret a line plot using fractional data, then use the information to solve problems. In third grade, students used line plots to organize and record measurement data to the nearest halves and fourths of an inch. Today, students will extend what they know about fractions to use measurement data to the nearest eighth of an inch. A line plot is beneficial because the data doesn't have to be organized before creating the graph. Remember to line up and evenly space the data as it is recorded on the line plot. Let's examine the first set of data. This line plot represents the measurements of bean sprouts to the nearest eighth of an inch. The tallest is 1 3/8 inch, and the smallest is 0 inches, which means that two plants have not started to grow yet. Let's answer a few questions using this line plot. What is the most common height? The most common height is 5/8 of an inch because it has the most number of x's, or the most data points recorded. There are 5 plants that measured 5/8 of an inch. Andre's plant is the one measuring 1 3/8 inch. How much taller is it compared with his friend Kennedy's sprout, which measures 1/8 inch? In order to find the difference, we can count how many jumps or how many eighths we need to go to get from 1/8 to 1 3/8. It takes 10 jumps or 10 eighths to get from 1/8 to 1 3/8. Another way to solve this problem would be to write the equation and solve. The equation would be Andre's sprout of 1 3/8 inches minus Kennedy's sprout of 1/8 inch equals the difference in height. Start by subtracting the fractional pieces. 3/8 minus 1/8 equals 2/8. 1 whole minus no wholes equals 1 whole. The difference is 1 2/8 inches. Now let's make our own line plot for the following set of data. The data represents the amount of water 10 students drank in gallons. We'll start by making a number line. In order to label the number line, the lowest number and the highest number must be found. The lowest is 0 and the highest is 1 7/8. A reasonable labeling would be from 0 to 2. Next, divide the number line into eighths because the denominators in the set of data are in eighths, and label the tick marks with the appropriate eighths. Now place an X for each piece of data in the correct place. Start with 1. Place an X above the 1. To keep track of the data we have used, we will cross it out. Next is 1 7/8. Place an X above the 1 7/8. Continue placing and crossing out all the data. What is the difference between the lowest amount of water and the highest amount of water students drank? The highest is 1 7/8 gallon, and the lowest is 0 gallons. The equation to represent this problem would be 1 7/8 minus 0 equals 1 7/8. What is the most common amount of water in gallons that students drank? The most common would be the 1 7/8 because it has the most number of x's. The objective for this lesson was to create and interpret a line plot using fractional data, then use the information to solve problems. We met this objective by making generalizations about data from a line plot, as well as finding the difference in amounts to the eighths. We created a line plot with a given set of data and interpreted the line plot.